All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Delusional Fan Top 5 time, dedicated again to this year's NFL season. We're going to take a blast from the past and go our top 5 favorite Bears, top 5 favorite Packers. So, Bears fans and Packer fans, we're going to choose our favorites from the
Wait.
Yeah.
Point of contention.
Okay.
This was the top 5 Bears and Packers, not favorite. Because mine would
What's
be
your top 5?
Mine would be vastly different.
Your top 5.
It's your top 5. Some of these guys...
We're doing top 5 greatest, right?
Yeah, if that's the way you... Yeah.
Top 5.
Because my greatest and favorite are much different.
But they can be great to you for different reasons. Like, I have greats in mind because they're also my favorite.
We're all on the same page, I think, dude.
Yeah, I think we're
I do.
Because, I mean, I would have...
We'll be okay.
I would have William Henderson on one, but not on the other.
Alex, we're going to be all right.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is just it's a curveball.
So we're starting with what?
So I'll start with the Bears, and you guys can, chime in, see what's the same, what's different. My number 5, and I know we've all talked about this guy quite a bit, but Devin Hester. Again, you can consider him an all-time great Bear. That can be debatable. What I'm telling you is Devin Hester was the most exciting player I've ever watched. He was the greatest ever at his position as a returner, and he scared the living daylights out of other teams, including my Packer buddies and their teams more than anything in the world. Mm-hmm. And I bet...
More than any quarterback they put out there, that's for sure.
Right. And what I'm thinking is, you guys could probably almost describe this a little bit better than I could. Like, what made Devin Hester great on teams where you knew you were most likely going to win the game, but if a game was close and you had to punt or kick to Hester, what did that feel like?
Go ahead.
The punter gets the snap, drops the ball, kicks it. And just for a second, when the ball's coming down, you hold your breath.
Yeah.
You hold your breath, you stare at the screen, you don't say a word because you know that Hester's going to catch the ball, there's blocking, there's room for him to run, and you have no idea what's going to happen. It's just that second of...
My dog Holly, by the way.
that second of anything could happen, you know what, it's probably going to be worth 6 points.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it, why didn't you kick it out of bounds?
Yeah, I've just never
is.
seen anything like him, ever.
And
I don't know if we'll ever have anything like him ever.
Like, how many players in the history of the NFL can you unequivocally say are the best at their position ever?
Right.
Even Jerry Rice, the greatest NFL player of all time, you could argue that Randy Moss is up there too.
I don't consider him the greatest NFL player of all time.
Well, but a lot of people do.
But with that being said, like that comparison, I mean, Dion was almost as good. I'm saying it was still unlike anything you've ever seen. 20 returns for touchdowns in his entire career. That won't be touched. I don't think. I really don't think it will.
Right.
Especially how they're totally phasing out the entire process.
And they are trying to phase out the return process.
Right. Yeah, so that's actually a really good point. So, number 4?
All right, I'm going to cut and paste this from that pause there, just so we can get Alex and everybody in here.
Right. Wait. All right. So I was looking at you weird. So
all right. So number 4.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. So number 4.
Angels in the outfield.
Hit a pause. So number 4, Dick Butkus, just because the impact he made on the team, and just anybody you talk to in that era, he was probably the greatest defensive player of that era, Hall of Famer.
Well, maybe second.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
We want to talk about it. Obviously, Hall of Famer, always be known as a great Bear. From Chicago, born and bred.
That's the big thing, though, is he is Chicago to the bone.
Right. All the way. Number 3 is my all-time favorite. He meant most to me. So even though nobody's ever going to put them on their all-time favorite, like top 5 Bear lists again, similar to Devin, Jim McMahon, just because he made me want to play quarterback. I loved watching him play. He was, that punky QB that just didn't give a crap. He went on the field, threw his body all over the place. Unfortunately, his injuries cost the Bears multiple Super Bowls.
His career reflected on his style of play.
Right. His second Super Bowl came as a backup to Brett Favre.
With what
Green
team?
Bay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I love Jim McMahon. Mike Ditka is my number 2. Just because, he is uber Bear. Won a championship with the Bears, came back, told the team as a head coach, We are going to be in the Super Bowl in 3 years, and half of you aren't going to be here, as the 30 for 30 once said. And
Now, the Saints fans might not have him at the same spot.
considering he traded their team away for Ricky, no.
And number one.
And number one, of course, the greatest football player of all time. Right there. Sweetness, Walter Payton. My all-time
Gary
favorite
Payton.
football player. I really think that he was the greatest football player there ever was. I don't think there's a question in my mind about it. So, those are my top 5 Bears.
Very good. I can dig those.
Where would you
I'll
put
go.
Urlacher?
Urlacher's in my top, he'd
We'll
be my
get to
top
him.
15.
We'll get to him. Oh, wow. Top 15.
Okay.
Well, I have a lot of fondness. I was around for the 86 team, so I have a lot of fondness for a lot of those guys. The 85, 86 team.
Okay.
So I went number 5, Devin Hester. We went over, most of his thing. I think the cool thing about all 5 of the guys I have on here, they all made an all-decade team. So they were all very important players for the time that they were in their prime.
Yep.
Again, 20 total touchdown returns for Devin Hester. Like I said, never seen anything like that guy. We were all scared of him in his prime there. Number 4, Brian Urlacher. I'm actually surprised you didn't have him in your top 5.
If I was going to put a Bears linebacker other than Butkus in it would have been Singletary over.
And I'm surprised you didn't have Singletary in there. I mean, granted, it's only 5 spots, right? So I can't knock you for everything.
Singletary's my number 6.
Urlacher for me was Favre and Rodgers loved playing against him. That was enough for me to put him in my top 5. I mean, if these guys like him, I gotta like him. But the most diehard Packer, Vikings, Lions fans, they all respected Brian Urlacher. He might be my favorite Bear of all time. He just was. He was
Okay.
dominant for a long period of time. Unique player. Dick Butkus at number 3. And again, Urlacher was 2000s all-decade team, like Hester. Butkus was 60s and 70s.
And 70s, yeah.
All-decade team. Stretched 2 decades there. Like you touched on, original Chicagoan. Went to University of Illinois. And one of the most feared players you've ever seen. People were legitimately scared to play against him. And rightfully so. He was snarling and growling and spitting. Awesome player, Dick Butkus. Number 2, Richard Dent. 2-time Super Bowl, or 2-time, is that right? 2-time champ? No. Super Bowl MVP though, 1-time Super Bowl.
Unless the Bears have won another one, I don't know.
Right, and that makes more sense. 4 All-Pros, 137 sacks. He was just, he was
Stupid
great.
good, yeah.
He was just an amazing defensive end. And featured soloist on the Super Bowl Shuffle. So, which I still
That says something about it,
just right. All around talent there. Number 1 has got to be Walter Payton.
Yeah.
It's always going to be, if it's not your number 1, it's going to be your number 2. 9 Pro Bowls, 7 All-Pros, 2 MVPs, 70s and 80s all-decade team. Over 16,000 yards was good enough to get him second all-time.
And his first all-time for a while.
Absolutely, right. And I think I brought this up last time as well. He averaged 4.5 yards per carry, which is just
Entire
his entire career. He was gritty too, man. Walter Payton. I can watch Walter Payton clips all day. As a diehard Packer fan,
Yeah.
I could watch them all day long.
Rushing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, passing touchdowns.
The one thing I always got from
insane
Walter
good.
was that, to me, he never seemed like he was like shaped like a running back. Like how tall was Walter Payton? I mean, he was
6 foot tops.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
you see like LaDainian Tomlinson, you see Jim Brown, you see like even Earl Campbell. It seems like Walter. I don't know, maybe it was just the way he ran.
Yeah, because those guys weren't any taller than him.
But Walter Payton, the way it just seemed like the way he ran, he always seemed like he was like a track star playing running back.
Right. Right.
I don't know what it was.
He was a
but
pretty put together guy. 5'10" tall,
There you
200
go.
pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
pretty
God, he
average.
always
They
just seemed
listed
so.
6 foot, if anything.
He always just seemed like he towered above everybody for some reason.
That's crazy. I actually never caught that with
Yeah,
Walter.
maybe it was just his running style, or
Right.
yeah. Maybe he was always jumping over people.
There's one clip of him where and there's several clips like this, but there's one clip, and I wish I remember, I think it's against the Chiefs, but he lowers his head, which it looks very unsafe. He lowers his head, and you lose it inside the player for a minute on the footage, and the guy falls down, and he just keeps running, and then he runs through 4 or 5 other people. He was one of the toughest players you'll ever see for sure.
And those Jerry curls, man.
They're fantastic.
yeah, right.
You know what?
That's Soul Glow.
I also what I associate with him a lot because this was really what first hit me advertising wise when I was a kid with the Ruse. I don't know if how much you guys experienced that.
Oh yeah.
Being a little bit younger than me, but the Ruse.
I didn't.
The
I mean, like
Ruse.
he's just going off of nostalgia, but he never saw that personally.
Yeah.
Just like I never saw it.
Right.
We just go off of highlights and stuff.
All right.
I've watched as many clips of that as I have any Packer shit.
So the stuff
That
we
is
have,
the
we
truth.
have
Oh, that
Butkus
is the
together,
truth.
we have Hester together, we have
Grew
Peyton
up in
together.
Chicago, Alex. I don't want to see that look. that look.
We have Butkus.
I was forced to.
Butkus, Hester, and Peyton are the same three. Do you have those three on your list?
Yeah.
All three?
Yeah, I got Butkus, Sweetness, Hester, Dicka.
Oh, and Dicka.
I got Dicka.
Dicka should be on the list for you, too.
such a
It is.
it was
Oh, number two.
It's such a gray area
Yeah, on my
because
list, I guess.
he's mostly known as a coach. You know, he was an all-pro tight end and everything, but his
He's a
great,
Hall of Fame tight end.
but his
Is he uneducated?
but his greatness as a Bear came as a coach.
no,
No, his immortality as a Bear came
immortality,
as a coach.
but not greatness.
But I mean, there's other Bears that you would put him.
His best
that you would put-
statistical years as a tight end were with the Bears.
But there's other Bears that you would put above him as the greatest Bears if you're just going just by him being a tight end.
Yeah,
And then I also have Bronco Nagurski
that's right.
because he's the only Bear that's the member of 2 Pro Sports Hall of Fames.
That's right. Wrestling and football.
We should have put Cuddy on our top 5.
Why? Because he throws as many
No,
passes
he's
to you
one of
guys.
Should
the
retire
he's one of
number
the
6 in the
he's-
fucking Wall of Fame.
so
man.
he's one of the top 5 Packers though.
All right.
Right.
So those are our top 5 Bears. I got at least my say in as far as what the Bears meant to me. Let's go Packers with you guys. Ryan, why don't you lead us off in this one? Who are your top 5 all time?
So I actually do think
Packers.
this is going to, and we talked about it before we started shooting here. There was a little confusion in terms of whether this is the greatest or your favorite.
I did the greatest as far as impact and everything.
So
I didn't
that's
do
the
my
thing.
favorite, but
And
that's
so it's a mix for me. It's what's
That's okay.
most
Well,
impactful for myself and what I personally feel like were some of the greatest ever. You can't take this away from me, but
No,
my
we'll
number
just-
5
we'll just have two
I'm
different
saying
kinds
for
of
both
lists.
of us. I'm
Yeah.
saying for both of us. Right. I'm not going to knock you for yours, but my number 5 is Aaron Rodgers.
He's 5.
He's 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, and a 2-time league champion. And again, I can go through all the bullshit,
You mixed
right?
that up.
No, I said
Super Bowl champion,
champion,
2-time league MVP.
Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, 2-time league champion. Did I say 2-time Super Bowl
You
champion?
said 2-time
you
league
said 2-time
champion.
league champion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Super Bowl champion, 1 Super Bowl MVP,
Yes.
2-time league MVP.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Highest touchdown to interception ratio of all time, highest QB rating of all time with 104.1 in his career so far.
Those are
Best
video-
mustache
video
of all-
games.
best
They are
mustache of all
dumb,
time,
though.
too?
They, like,
I-
when you hear them, they're actually stupid.
Yes. Close.
122.5 was the career record in QB rating for a season. 122 for 16 games. Dumb.
Might as well be playing Madden.
Hey, I mean, if he has probably 5 to 7 years left, you would say he's 32, right?
Plus, he sat his first 3 years. So.
I'm just saying, you think he has like 5 to 7 years left.
I hope he-
Is that arguable?
What's
or-
going to stop him, if anything, is concussions. Other than that, yes, I agree.
Okay, and I'm just saying, at this point, with 5 to 7 years left and sitting 3 years, 32,000 plus yards, 65% completions in his career, this is where it gets stupid to me. 257 touchdowns to 65 picks. Like, it's just not even, I can't, you always, that's one of your favorite things to say is those video game numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, you'd be hard pressed to do that in a video game.
But see, that's also one of the knocks against him too, is he doesn't take the chances.
And I totally get
Plus,
that.
I mean, we had Favre for 16 years, so we were used to those
Here's
chances.
something
You know,
for
we
you
were
guys.
used to
Here's
the
something for you
gunslinger.
guys. In comparison, and I'm just threw this player out there. In comparison, a guy like Andy Dalton has played only 5 years in the league. He has 73 picks already. I mean, again, that's just one random guy, okay? I mean, a guy like Big Ben, who started since 04, he has 147 picks.
But again, that's the difference in philosophy. Big Ben is also a gunslinger. Rodgers is not.
Like, I feel like, are you the one that's brought it up before where he actually kind of hurts the team a little bit and is...
I think sometimes.
Oh, no, it was my friend Tyler.
But he does.
Said that sometimes he would rather keep his stats in line than make a throw that would...
See, but I don't think it's ever coming down for him mentally. Like,
No, I totally agree. I'm just talking about one of my
Maybe it's just
Packer friends
moxie or
have said.
balls.
You know,
Balls in general.
But I think he has balls. whatever, and that's irrelevant. That's
Of
another
course he has
topic of
balls. Did
conversation.
you see the jeans he was wearing in that picture today?
Right. Heard you had an interesting
All right, that has
take
nothing to
on
do with
it.
this conversation.
Sure.
So let's go.
So anyway, at the end of the day, he's done things that I've never seen before at that position.
I just like
Period.
talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Period.
I know.
We can go all night. You and me, Alex.
We'll just sit here and jerk each other
Number
off
4,
on the
Bart
table.
Starr. He's played 15 years in Green Bay, which is as much as Brett Favre ever did.
One of the most unheralded because of Favre and Rodgers.
Here's
People
the
don't talk
thing, and
Brett-
here's the one
Bart
reason
Starr.
why he should be a lot
But-
higher on my list. He's the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to ever win 5 championships. He has 5 rings. Okay, 2 of them are Super Bowls. We fight about this all the time, Chris.
Hey, it's not his
If
fault.
you're gonna include every championship that's ever won and not just
I
say-
include- I
know.
do
I'm just
include
saying if that's what we're gonna do, he's got 5.
What I say, it's
There
not.
is
It's
nobody.
not his fault that he played before the Super Bowl era.
Spoiler alert, he's on my list.
Very good. So 2-time Super Bowl MVP as well. He won the number 1 and number 2. And he has the highest QB rating in playoff history with 104.8. 9-1 in the playoffs.
Dumb.
Dumb. Dude, he's one of the best ever.
We should move this just for a second.
Yeah, there you go. There
Yeah,
it is.
we're
There's my
talking
guy.
about it.
Yeah,
He's
that
right
doesn't
here.
need to stand up. There you
I
go.
wanted those out there for a reason. I knew they'd be on this.
Number 3, Reggie White. Now, granted, this is only 6 years that he played with
Yep.
the Packers, but Minister of Defense. I've talked about him a lot on this show, actually. He has the Super Bowl championship. He has the league MVP, or Defensive Player of the Year. He ushered in the new era for success in Green Bay. It was Brett Favre and him, but it was really him as the final catalyst to make that all
Well,
come
really,
together.
the man that did it was Ron Wolf, but he's
I
not a
said
player.
the catalyst,
But they
not
partnered up on
the
field.
innovator.
Favre with the offense, Reggie with the defense.
I got more to say on that, but I'll wait for what I
Yeah,
when I
not
have my
the
list.
innovator, not the creator, the catalyst, the guy who brought it all together, okay? So, for obvious reasons, he's on there, okay? One of the best defensive players of all time. Number 2, Don Hudson. I had to throw him on there. I couldn't keep him off.
He invented the wide receiver.
And that's it. That's it. He's the first modern wide receiver. His numbers stack up with a lot of other players today, and so it is extremely impressive what he did. 11 years, his entire career with Green Bay,
And this is when you
under
weren't- this is when
legendary
you weren't-
coach Curly Lambeau.
This is when you weren't even wearing fucking helmets.
Exactly right. No,
11
this is
years.
way ahead of its time. They won 3 NFL championships, went to 4. He was on those teams. Led the league in receiving yards 7 seasons and in touchdowns 9. Again, he only
In a
played
row.
11 years.
In a row.
Right. Oh yeah, and he led the league in interceptions 1 year. That's Don Hudson. Okay,
Great
I'll
players,
just stop there. First jersey retired at Lambeau. Brett Favre is my number 1. He has to be. He's always going to be.
I knew that was
Aaron
coming.
Rodgers can probably win 2 more, and I still would really struggle to put him ahead of Brett.
Yeah.
And really, what can we say? He's held every record that's ever been held by any quarterback in the league. Now he's second in everything, including wins,
Except for
consecutive starts.
interceptions.
And interceptions. That's fine.
That just-
Fine.
all right,
Look, he was the best, and he did it in a very unique way.
You had the most
That's
fun
what I had.
watching Brett Favre play
He
football.
is the Packers to me.
Exactly.
That's it. And by the way, most people from my generation would agree with that.
So who on his list do you also have?
4 out of 5.
Oh, okay. What's the
Awesome.
order?
I like it.
All right, so 5 I have Bart Starr.
Okay.
Just because he's one of the top 3 quarterbacks we've ever had, won 5 championships, but he doesn't. I mean, he has the legacy, the lore about him because of like the Ice Bowl and stuff like that, you know.
First
But
2 Super Bowls.
yeah, and he was an amazing quarterback. But I think I'm gonna have maybe a controversial pick for number 4.
Which is?
Hold on.
Is a
Can I add on to
Yeah.
your? I want to add on to this because Bart Starr is on my list. Bart Starr is my number 2 for Packers, and that's why I want to add this real quick.
Good for you.
And it's not because I saw him play. I didn't see him
Serious.
play, but it's what I learned about him from the people that taught me sports. Okay.
The ultimate leader, dude.
Let's even take out him as a player and all the great things he did. The team he led and the people that followed him that decade, that team that was in, there aren't many arguments. Maybe the modern day Patriots you consider is the greatest collection of a team
Yes.
for multiple years. Maybe there's 3, I would say. We're 3, right? So there's the Steelers that won
the 70
the 4
Steelers.
Super Bowls. There's the Patriots 2000 to now, and then there's the Packers. So this.
What about the
61,
Yeah.
62, 65, 66, 67. The only quarterback to have a three-peat and 5 championships.
So I put him on there not because I saw him play or because I ever met the man or I know anything about him. I put because he is there aren't many
He's
icons like him. So he's my number 2 for that reason. So
Right. I appreciate that.
And I actually put, I cheated a little bit and I have a twosome at number 4.
Okay.
That might be controversial that I put him ahead of Bart Starr because they played with him. But at number 4, I would have Ray Nitschke and Forrest Gregg because they were the anchors of both the offense and the defense of that 60s team that won all that.
Sure.
Does Forrest's
struggle to
horrible
not
tenure as a coach not take away
I
from
struggle
No.
to not, to exclude Forrest Gregg from that.
I mean,
And Nitschke, and
I can look up I didn't do it here, but I can bring up the Pro Bowls and all that stuff.
Right.
But what's interesting is that Ray Nitschke made, I think it was 7 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
7 total Pro Bowls. Or no, 7 All-Pro, sorry. He was All-Pro 7 times. He only ever made 1 Pro Bowl.
yeah.
I'm guessing it had different rules back then.
Yeah.
As popular as they were, that offense wasn't flashy and exciting. That's not.
But I think
what they were designed to do.
those two were the anchors of the offense and the defense that made the Packers who they are.
Nitschke was the counterpart to
Okay.
Butkus.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why
That
when you said
gritty
when you said
spit in
Butkus
your
was the
face.
greatest defensive player of his time, I would put Nitschke there too.
He's there, but you don't hear
And
the other
and
teams talk about
and Lambert and
you hear them talk about
Bednarski
Nitschke,
and-
but there's a little bit. They put something in the butt.
Well, I mean,
I'm telling you that the difference is.
It's minimal.
I think the difference is championships. It has nothing to do with Butkus as a player.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Well, Butkus
that's
never
where,
won one.
where
Yeah.
Butkus might be better overall as a player.
Nitschke's
The-
got
Plus,
Or,
plus,
the
I
team
plus
that he
I
played
met
for
Ray
puts
Nitschke
him
when
at
I was
that
12
level.
years old. One of the nicest people in the world. I
Yeah.
saw his hands were about twice as big as mine, and his fingers were all going different ways.
Yeah, right.
He made my friend's little brother cry because he looked like a demon.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, but he was the nicest guy in the world.
All right.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, Reggie White.
Yeah.
Because not only is he one of the greatest defensive players of all time, he came in, he helped the Packers win a championship. He was the biggest free agent signing of all time. He
Yeah.
was the person that brought free agents to Green Bay, and especially black free agents. 'Cause, up until then, it was white bread, small town Wisconsin. It's always cold, There
Still is.
But it had that perception. He was the one that opened up the doors for the Julius.
I think, yeah.
He opened up the doors for
Look.
the Julius Peppers, the Charles Woodsons, everything.
First year they ever had free agency.
And he was this big monster
that
signing.
guy to go to Green Bay.
And no one
Absolutely.
saw it coming.
He chose to go to the little town of 20,000
Right.
people.
No one saw it
And
coming.
again,
And that's again, if we were doing coaches and GMs and stuff, I might have Ron Wolf top 3 just because he did.
Yeah.
He did
be a good top
Reggie
5.
White. He did Brett Favre. He rebuilt this team.
Yeah. So number 2, Don Hudson. Number 1, Brett Favre.
Okay.
You're
I
saying,
know
Yeah.
he's got to have Favre.
Don
number
Hudson.
one, so
Okay,
it's
Don
gotta be
Hudson. I can't remember
second.
the year. He had 1,400 yards receiving.
Yeah.
You know what the second place person had? 600 yards.
Yeah.
He had 800 more yards. Like this, the wide receiver position didn't even exist.
No,
Yeah.
you go watch clips of Don Hudson. I'm not kidding.
It's just
They
ridiculous.
are, no, I'm just saying. I'm saying to people listening.
NFL films
I'm
are
saying
out
to
there.
people
Yeah.
listening. They are. You will feel like you're watching. Besides a lot of their helmets in the black and white, you feel like you're watching Reggie Wayne or Jared.
Well, no, it's
that
like-
is how it looks.
It's like Don Hudson is Reggie Wayne.
Right.
And then all the other people on the league are the Sauk Prairie Junior Varsity.
Right.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
man amongst boys.
Right.
It's like watching Jim Brown run
He's a
back.
kid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then Favre.
And
Favre.
Favre.
I mean, Favre is the Packers to me.
Right. Same here.
It was 16 years from when I was 9 years old until I was 25. It's Brett Favre.
Right.
I want to know how sad. we are.
I've never had more fun in my life watching football than watching him.
So you want to know how sad we are?
Why?
All 3 of us are the same number 1 Packer.
That's
mean,
not
that's
sad.
obvious.
That's
Just
that's
like
what,
we- just
that's
like-
what makes Brett Favre special.
We all had the same number one Bears too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
We all had Walter Payton.
That's
all right. Okay. So yes, I'll go. I don't need. It doesn't even matter. Okay, so yeah, of course, Brett Favre.
Nobody cares
It's
what you think.
Watching him tear up every Bears team the way he did, and he was one of the more exciting players to watch. And what I loved most about
And
him is
just-
he reminded me of my number
Jim
3
McMahon.
pair of Jim McMahon.
Just the image of him at the Super Bowl with him with the helmet in the air, just running, just grinning.
Right.
That's Brett Favre to me. Lifting people up, tackling
Countless
people.
memories like that, though. You know,
The fact that his first completion was to
Greg
himself,
Geraghty on his
you know,
shoulders for the
yeah.
touchdown record. Yeah,
Two guys are also on my list. Reggie White.
That was 2.
No,
Oh.
Reggie ahead at 4.
I didn't think Reggie would be on your list either.
Go ahead.
That's-
You can't. I got to watch the Reggie White era.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
You're watching one of the greatest guys to ever do it. I got to watch
Dude,
the
he
Lawrence
was
Taylor
special
era.
to
There are
watch.
certain guys you watch play that they're just the best there ever was.
Also, the first
He was
jersey, the
special
first
to watch,
jersey I ever
too.
owned was Reggie White.
Yeah.
That little shove that he had.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just a beast.
A little
anyway,
swim thing.
Okay, so
Bart Starr also on my list. He was up there high. He was Bart Starr was number 2 for me, right behind
Yep.
Brett Favre. And again, it was more just knowing who he was, what he did to. He made guys who that brought me up in my family as Bear fans. He made them football fans watching him play. He was just,
you
and those
said-
teams are so
you
great.
said you met Nitschke and how good of a guy he was. My brother Chris met Starr.
Yeah.
Unbelievable human being. Just a kind, gentle human being.
2 of the guys that weren't on the list, and I really wanted to put Donnie Hudson because I know what he did, but I didn't. I didn't put
I
Hudson
hear
in.
you, man.
Because I'm not as big a wide receiver fan. I think it's just a me thing. I'm a running back. I'm a quarterback guy, then I'm a running back
He
guy.
invented the position.
I'm
Doesn't
on
matter.
green.
Jim Taylor.
All right, I can't knock you for that.
Because if Jim Brown wasn't doing what he was doing, Jim Taylor would have gone down as the greatest running back of
If I
that.
remember, I'm pulling this out of my ass right now, but if I remember correctly, Jim Taylor was second in rushing to Jim Brown like 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just that good. And again,
It's
the team was
that
Brown, best running
sweep.
back of all time.
It's that Green Bay sweep.
Yep.
So again, I'm a running back guy. Walter Payton, obviously my number 1. Jim Brown, I think, is the greatest pure running back of all time. Walter Payton's the greatest football player of all time. I'm a running back guy. I love Jim Taylor. You know, Earl Campbell, O.J. Simpson. They're just running backs are just fucking great.
So that's 4, and 5 would have been.
My 5th guy, who would have ended up 3rd on my list,
Desmond Howard.
is actually who I consider Mr. Packer. If I had a guy
Donald Driver.
that you would
Gotta
go into
be
the
other
city,
than Favre.
yeah, and you'd shake his hand, and he's like, "Welcome to the Packers. I am a Packer. You should be like Donald Driver."
So that's your number 5.
He was actually
Double D would have been up there if I was doing my favorite Packers.
And
I
would
love the
agree with that.
personality. I love
would
the
agree
way
with that.
he
Oh,
played
that
the game
smile.
with this smile and that boyhood charm.
Smile.
Like, no matter how,
our hearts are fluttering right now.
right,
Like,
no matter how well he did,
Hey,
I'd never hated it.
no, how could you? What did he ever do?
He
that
was so
could make you unlikable?
happy.
Make him
He
unlikable?
writes children's books.
So happy to be out.
Look, he's just good guy overall.
So that's top 5. Let us know your top 5 Bears, top
Leader in
5
receiving
Packers.
yards and receptions.
You can do it. You can do it any way you want. Favorites, greatest of all time. Just let us know your top 5. When we come back, our way too soon. NFL 2016-2017 playoff and Super Bowl predictions.
Which I need to come up with right now.
Come on with them. You got a minute.
I wasn't expecting Reggie White to be on both your lists.